Hey guys, EpicMan14111 here, and now for the last video of the day, well, of course, unless Raging Tempest box gets here, is going to be of my Yami Bakura deck profile. The only cards really missing out of here, which I am using a few proxies. I did order 2 Dark Sanctuaries as well as Zork and his Ritual spell, so I did fill in those proxies. But until we get Diabound as well, but this deck works out so-so. I mean, it works well, but without Diabound, it works so-so. Also, as of right now, this deck probably wouldn't be able to be used in a tournament because it does use banned cards or limited cards in the TCG, but I did make sure to add cards that in the OCG is different. Some. I do also still have cards in here that would be banned, like Pot of Greed. But this is pretty much somewhat of Bakura anime deck, but at the same point a little bit of an added twist. But let's just get started. So first I run 3 Necroface. The reason for 3 is because there is cards in here that definitely require banishment. So as soon as you banish them, banish the top 5 cards. I have had the luck sometime that when one Necroface goes off, pretty much here's a combo I normally do. I have Prometheus in here. I have him, he gets destroyed. Summon Prometheus, banish him, then immediately banish the top 5 cards of your deck. Then I do get lucky sometimes to get a second one to then banish another top 5. And then sometimes I even get lucky after that and get another one, thereby making top 5 more cards. Mostly the reason why I have 3 is because it pretty much speeds up a duel and gets rid of a lot of cards in your opponent's deck, stopping them from using it. So if you are able to banish 2, it's my own personal twist on Pot of Desires, whereas instead of you're banishing 10 by getting rid of 2 of them, both you and your opponent have to get rid of 10. But yeah, so 3 Necrofaces, as well as 2 Prometheus. I used 1 beforehand, but it somewhat worked with this. But now that I have 2, it works a little better. Now on to the part where this card is not allowed to be used in tournaments right now. But I run 2 Sangan. It is in the OCG at 3 right now. So hopefully we get it at 3 here, but I don't know. It seems we're getting a lot of cards that have been banned for a while back up. Like Thousand Eyes Restrict has been banned for so long. Now we can use 3 of it. And now Sangan. Who knows? Hopefully Stratos will see 1 or 2. I don't know. Here's hoping though. Then I'll use Elemental Heroes again. Continuing, Big Eye. Pretty much before, if I draw him before I get Prometheus, I can pretty much look at the top 5 cards and arrange them in any order. That way I can put Necroface first. Or who knows, maybe I have a Necroface already in my grave, and I see Prometheus and Necroface here, then I'll pretty much just, summon Prometheus, banish the Necroface in my grave, then it would get off the other Necroface. And who knows, maybe if I see 2 of them with Big Eye, I'll do it that way. That way I can banish the top 10. That would put it into my favor. Next off, I did run 2 of him first, but then I chose 1 instead. That's Hyro Scout. Hyro's Shadow Scout. Pretty much, if you go up against opponents that use, I think pendulums count as spells too, so yeah, it could work there. Like, people that they use pendulums, or use a lot of spells. Because thanks to his ability, they draw 3 cards, sure, but any spell that they have from those 3 is immediately discarded. So it's a good way to stop, well, definitely for fusion decks that have polymerization, then they can't really do that. Next up, of course, it's not Bakura deck without Dark Necrofear. One Doom Caliber Knight. I had two, but two kind of, yeah. Now this is a proxy, but it is going to be Dark Master's Orc, but that's I'm using the Paladin of Dark Dragon as the proxy, but it's pretty much Dark Master's Orc. Then of course Dark Ruler Hades or Hades. It's Hades though. As well as two Wall of Illusion. Pretty much the main goal of the Bakura deck is to kind of disrupt your opponent with their plays. So just set this, they attack it, their monster goes back to their hand. I am also going to eventually get two Morphing Jars and put it in here, because then you and your opponent both discard your hand and draw 5 cards. Now these monsters aren't, the next two monsters aren't fiends, but they're still dark, which goes well with Prometheus. And that's two Mystic Tomatoes. Pretty much it can get off Prometheus. Well, Prometheus has to be normal summon, but it can get off your Sangan if you don't have... Say you don't have Sangan in your hand, you bring out Mystic Tomato, it gets destroyed, boom, you can bring out a Sangan. Then if they destroy Sangan, you can get Sangan's effect to add Prometheus to your hand. Then you have two Necrofaces, or one in your grave, boom, banish it, and you get to do Necroface's ability, which then gets rid of cards in your opponent's deck. Necroface is essentially one of the key cards in this deck to help make the duel go faster. Then I run one Newdoria, summon it, your opponent wants to destroy it, it'll destroy your opponent's monster as well. Hail Polymer. I had two, but I now run one because, well, you don't really want a lot of high-level monsters that you can't really summon. Not to mention, it does have the good ability where if it's destroyed by battle, then during each of your opponent's at the end of each of your opponent's battle phases, boom, they randomly discard a card from their hand. Sorry about that, guys. I paused TV and it just unpaused. But, yeah. And then for the last monster in the deck, until of course we get Diabound, is I run one, the Earl of Demise. Pretty much, I run it mostly because it was a card that he used. Not to mention it's a fiend and it's a dark type. He also has that Headless Knight, but I don't know where that got off to, and I'm not sure if I really want to get another one. Because although it is good for a Bakura deck, not really needed. Now for the spells. Of course, Destiny board letters, I, N, A, and L. Then the two field spells, which are proxies right now, is Dark Sanctuary, but I used Mountain and Dragon Ravine. But it's two Dark Sanctuaries. They should be here by next week. Then, of course, Change of Heart, the Cheerful Coffin. This card pretty much is used for your... It's like a Foolish, only it uses it from your hand. Essentially, you just have... Say you have 3 Dark Monsters or Fiends, instantly discard them. Then you can get off Dark Necrophy or Prometheus. So then you have Pot of Greed, pretty much your draw 2 card. And of course, Veil of Darkness. He doesn't really use it, but I decided I'd add it as well as a few others from the Destiny Soldiers pack in here because it works well with dark monsters. Continuous. Each time you draw a dark monster, you can pretty much reveal it. Or, is it reveal it or a card in your hand? Let me look. During your draw phase, if you draw a dark monster or monsters, you can reveal any number of them, send them to the graveyard, then draw one more card. So it's pretty much like Heart of the Underdog, only for dark monsters. So you keep drawing dark monsters, you keep getting draws. Plus it's a good way to ditch your dark/fiends to get off Dark Necrofear or Prometheus. Oh yeah, Prometheus' effect is pretty much this. He's a level 4, but whenever he's normal summoned, you can banish any number of dark monsters in your graveyard, and he gains 400 attack for each. until the end phase, of course. He originally has 1200 attack points. Then, of course, if you're going to do Bakura, Tribute Burial, it's pretty much your, what's that name of that card? The card that Kaiba uses to tribute his opponent's monsters on the field. Actually, I think it's Soul Exchange. Hold on. I think it's Soul Exchange. Yep, Soul Exchange. It's pretty much Soul Exchange, except it's for banishing cards in yours and your opponent's grave. So you pretty much run level 5s in here. Not anything that needs 2 tributes. So I think you could technically still use it. Because it says from your opponent and yours. So I'm not sure if it means from either or from both. But anyway, continuing. One Foolish Burial, pretty much self-explanatory, getting rid of your fiends/dark monsters in the grave to get off Dark Necrofear or Prometheus effect. Then the beginning of the end. If there are 7 or more dark monsters in your grave, banish 5 dark monsters from your graveyard and draw 3. Another reason you want to be ditching dark monsters into your grave is that. Because if you have that much in your grave, boom, you get to draw 3 cards and you get to banish them, thereby getting off Necroface's effect or whatever else. Then, of course, Creeping Darkness. Banish 2 dark monsters in your grave. Add 1 level 4 dark monster from your deck to your hand. Get rid of like a or a Necroface. Sorry, Necroface. Then essentially add Prometheus or something else to your hand. Let's see what else you could do. Yeah, that's pretty much what you're wanting to be searching for. Is him, Mystic Tomato, or Wall of Illusion. Then to finish off your spells, you have the Ritual spell for Dark Master Zork, which is Dark Master Ritual. Now for the trap cards, of course you have Destiny Board, Dark Spirit of the Silent, Time Seal, Dark Illusion, and Escape from the Different Dimension. This self-explanatory. You're going to be banishing a lot in this deck, and there are chances that you will get rid of some of your powerful monsters. So you need a way to bring it back. Well, that essentially finishes up the Bakura deck. He doesn't really have an extra deck, so I didn't really get one make one for him. But that's pretty much it. I will be doing a anime deck duel of him, maybe Joey, maybe Kaiba, maybe Yugi, or Yami Yugi. Well, until next time, guys, Epic Man 14111 signing out.